Hello everyone. Welcome to Tisha's Home Cooking, and if you're new here, you are most welcome. This is a cooking channel where I show you simple meals, how to make very simple meals. And don't forget to subscribe and hit on the notification button so that you can be notified when I make my next video. Now, I'm going to take you straight into what we're going to do today. Today I'm going to show you how to make the Ghanaian Shito, which is the Ghanaian black pepper sauce. I got, someone made a request and asked me to show you how we make the Ghanaian Shito, and she actually said, please, can you show us how to make the Shito? So I'm going to do that today. I've got all the ingredients laid out here. What I've got is I've got quite a lot of garlic and ginger, which I've blended together. You can see it's quite a lot. So garlic and ginger put together, it depends on how much you're going to make. This will actually give the volume of the shito you're going to actually make. I've also got here 200 grams of tomato puree, and then I've got some dried bay leaves, which I'm going to put in the sauce. I've also got here, which is the fish, the most important thing you're going to put in the shito as well. This one is smoked, dried smoked herring. So it's herring which has been dried and smoked, and I've actually, blended it. What you need, you can get the powdered one from, from the shop, or if you get the whole ones, got a blender, you can actually blend it. So I've got this as well, that's 100 grams altogether. And I've also got 40 grams of dried smoked prawns. This you can also get from the shop, either powdered, or you can get it and then blend it into a powder yourself. I've also got some chili powder here, so chili flakes or chili powder, which is quite a lot, but it will depend how much I'm going to put in the sauce. It depends how hot you want it, either mild, medium, or very hot. And then I've got some coriander powder, and I've also got some curry powder here. And then last but not the least, I've also grinded some African spices. So this is what I've actually grinded here. We've got some cloves, as you can see. This is how it looks like. So cloves, and then also this spice which is called Uda seed, or we call it wintia in Ghana, or this cloves is called pepper, or it's called cloves. Okay, and then we've got also, most important, oil. So because for the black pepper sauce, which is the shito, you're going to use a lot of oil. You need to use good oil, either olive oil or sunflower oil. So I've got sunflower oil. I've been heating up the oil. As you can see, it looks like it's quite a lot of oil, but that's what you need, because by the time you finish, you need to have, a bit more oil on top of the sauce, so that you can keep it long for, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, however long you want to keep it for. Okay, so first thing is I've been heating up the oil for some time, so I'm going to try and put in the garlic and ginger and all of it. So I'm going to just test a little bit to make sure the oil is not too hot. Okay, so that should be fine. And then everything goes in. So this should tell you that I'm making quite a lot of shito, so that's why we've got a lot of the ginger and garlic. And we're going to allow this to simmer for about, give it 5 minutes or more, probably 5 minutes or more. So I'm turning the fire, and then you'd have to keep an eye on it, and stir it once in a while before you add the other ingredients. So I'll leave this to cook, to simmer away, and make sure that the water in the ginger and garlic evaporates, because that's what you want, to make sure it's not watery. All the water should evaporate before you add the other dry ingredients. When the garlic and ginger has been cooking, whilst it's cooking, you can then add the tomato puree. So I'm adding the tomato puree now, so that we'll cook it together. To make like a kind of a sauce. Okay, I'm going to then add my dried basil. Okay. And I'm going to add all the seasonings. I've got the curry, it's like 1.5 spoons, and then my all the dried seasoning goes in. Alright, so also I've got here all-purpose seasoning as well that I'm adding. So about 2 teaspoons, and I've got 1 vegetable stock cube. Vegetable stock cube. And I'm going to also chuck in the other spices. Gives it a nice flavor. Nice aroma. I'm going to add a bit more all-purpose seasoning. So this forms like sauce. All the bubbles you're seeing is because of the ginger and garlic. Okay. Right, at this point I'm also going to add my grounded chilies, okay, so that it all cooks together. Right, I'm just going to add a few tablespoons. I got 1, 2. Mind you, this chili is very hot, so I put in 3 tablespoons. I'm going to taste and see how spicy it is before I decide to add more, as some of my household don't really like spicy shito. I'm going to try and put some to the side and try and taste it to see. So in terms of seasoning, that is fine. Okay, it's kind of mild, it's not too hot, so I'm just going to add 1 more tablespoon of chili. And don't forget, you have to keep stirring, otherwise it's going to, all these bubbles is because of the ginger and onion, because we had quite a lot. So you need a big pot. So the dried fish should be the last thing you will put in. And I've turned the fire down, very, very down. Hopefully all the water is escaping, so we not have any problems with. So the last thing I'm going to now add is going to be the powdered fish. So everything goes in. Okay, and that one as well goes in. Now at this point, you're going to leave it on a very low heat to cook, and then the fish will just make it. The reason why we call it black pepper because the fish just makes it black. I'll add a bit more chili to it. Okay, so I did say that we needed a lot of oil. I had 1 liter of sunflower oil, so I did use about 3/4 of it. I'm going to add a bit more because it looks like we will need more. Okay, and then here we're going to leave it to now simmer away gradually, and we'll come back and check. Okay, so whilst it's cooking, you need to be coming and stirring your sauce. If you don't do so, you find out that it will burn very badly. Okay, so as you can already see, it's beginning to change color. The sauce is beginning to change color. This process actually needs time. So after you put in your tomato sauce and let it cook for a while, and then you put in all the ingredients including the fish powder, you need to then make sure you put in a very low heat, and with the foaming that you can see as well, it's also because of the fish powder. So we just leave it to continue to simmer for a few minutes, and yeah, we will come and check again and make sure we are ready. We've got our shito now. Look at the texture, look at the color now. Okay, it's still simmering, but we need it to cook for a few more minutes. Okay, so I've come to check it again. I mean, I cannot stress enough how important it is to keep stirring the shito. So now you can see the end result, and the fire has to be really, really low so that it can take its time to cook and simmer. And then normally after it's cooked, I'm just going to turn off the fire because we don't need it now it's cooked. And you can now see the reason why it's called black chili sauce or shito, you know, and that's the end result. And this you can keep. Once it's cooled down, you will find out that everything will settle, and then the oil will just come on top. So the oil helps it to last longer. And this you can store it in, you know, containers or, you know, a bottle. And once it's cooled down, you know, you can also keep it in your fridge.